Okay, so here's how we're going to add a voice memo to GarageBand to work on a podcast. So once you've got GarageBand opened, you can go down to the bottom right corner, click on the media icon here. So the one with the View Hide Media Browser. What you want is the audio. You'll see here you can get to stuff in GarageBand and iTunes. If we click on this little arrow, it'll open things up, and your voice memos are at the bottom. Take the voice memo you want, click and drag it over to one of the tracks, drop it there. If it's not quite at the beginning, you can just click and move it over. Now at the bottom here you've got the little scissors, that's your edit window. So you click on that. Now this red line here is where you're at when you're playing. So what you can do is you can start playing it. And if you found what you want to edit, let's say there's this part, so you go down to your edit window. When you see this little plus sign, you click and then you select what you want to cut out. Say that's what we want to cut out, hit the delete button and it disappears. If you've made a mistake, Command Z will undo what you've done. So you can select, delete. Now up here,
you're taping yourself, right?
Yeah. Up here, if you, now let's say there was a point where you were giggling. You cut out the giggles and then you can splice it back together by putting it like this, and it'll be as if you never giggled.
Marqué de changement. Au début, il semblait
So it's seamless. You can add another, so you can go to the end, you can scroll to the end. If you did it in 2 segments, you now grab your other one, click, and again, just drag it in, and there you go. And it'll all just end up playing as one seamless
À quel moment avez-vous réalisé
file.
que vos...
When you're done, what you can do, so once you're done, you're ready to send it out, you can go share, export podcast to disk. You want to send it as an MP3, export, and then you can name it, put it wherever you want on your computer, and then save. And it'll go. Okay, so now if you're wanting to do sound effects, again, same button area down here. You click the eyeball, and then you have eyeball.
The eyeball.
Looks like an eyeball.
Oh yeah.
And then so you can go either all effects, and again they're kind of in the different categories. So you can go people, and then if you double click, you can hear what it sounds like.
Mm.
Same thing. All you have to do, you find the sound you want, and then you click and drag it. I'd suggest you put it on a separate track.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing, let's say, I mean this is a pretty long sound effect. If all you need is 5 seconds of it,
Mm-hmm.
you go to where you want it to end, click and drag until you select everything else, delete, and you're left with the time you need. And you can move it around. You can also fade sound in and out. So this little
That would work, yeah.
this little triangle, down triangle, you click on that and it opens up another bar underneath. And then you can kind of see there's this blue line, that's the volume. So what you can do is you can kind of click one spot there and you'll see there's a marker there. So that's where it'll get to this full volume. And you click here and then we drag down so you can see the volume will rise and fade into that. Same thing if you want it to fade out at the end. You click where you want the start to fade, and further along you click and you fade out. And the only thing with that is you need to remember that if you put a sound effect further on here, the volume will be at the bottom. So you need to just, again, click and fade it back up. You might want to have gaps when you're speaking for sound effects, so you might want to just move that apart so you can have the sound effect. You can play with that.
Put a sound effect in the gap.
In the gap, yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you want sound effect while somebody's speaking, you can again here you can lower the volume so that the sound effect doesn't overpower the speaking. So you can play around with the volume for that individual spot.